Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So here we are on the M44 Tier 6 Artillery on Westfield. Now, I bring this question to you, and there's players out there that'll still think that artillery should be just taken out of the game completely. I used to be one of those people. I really didn't think it had a place in the game. Um, why, why are there so many stupid players? What the hell? That's a good way to start off the battle. Um, but I've been playing the game since 2010, so after playing it for a long time, I realized that artillery does have a place in the game for people camping, so on and so forth. Targets that are hard for other people to penetrate. Your rounds are dropping usually on the top of them. There's reasons that it should be in the game. But now, when artillery came out, a lot of people complained, myself being one of them, when you would get hit and get one shot by a tier 10 artillery. Sometimes you get tier 9s that could penetrate you and, basically one shot you. But, it took World of Tanks a very long time, and they finally nerfed artillery. And the question I bring to you is, do you think they over nerfed it? Now, after watching this match, um, a lot of my shots were direct hits, and I was actually stunned when a shot like this right here, dead on shot, hits the VK 101P and bounces. Absolutely did not a lick of damage. I don't even know if it stunned him or not. And I thought, okay, well, that was one shot. Placed it bad. I got a shot in the side of his turret. Critical hit. Bounced it again. Didn't knock his track off. Nothing. So once again, 2 rounds right in a row. Neither of them penetrated. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to waste any more ammo on that target. I can't even penetrate the damn thing. And then when you hit targets in the side, like I just hit that Oni, and I did a whole 121 damage to it. Given, yeah, he is a tier 8, I am a tier 6, but I'm still in an artillery. Direct side shot, hit him for 228. Little bit more, almost double what I hit him for. But I really feel like, they really did over nerf artillery. There's a point where when you're playing in a vehicle, doesn't matter if it's a heavy tank, light tank, doesn't matter, and you hit something and you're doing such minimal amounts of damage to it that you've got to hit it umpteen times to actually make a difference. I mean, some of the shots, like I hit the Tiger one there a minute ago for 240. That shot hit the dirt like way off. And it's not so bad when you're in a lower tier. Well, how can I rephrase this? It's not as bad in a lower tier because you have a faster reload, but even when you hit something like that, I hit right behind that T-50-2, and all it did was stun him for like 6 seconds. And I don't expect to hit every single shot, but when you hit something from the front, you can see I'm aiming off to the side, and that time I did 180 or 198. And then somebody else finished him off. But when you're in a Conqueror gun carriage, this shot here, I thought I was going to actually hit it. I let it aim almost all the way in, and that might have stunned him. That's about it. But when you're in like a Conqueror gun carriage, T92, the M53, 55, tier 9, and you're hitting targets, and you're only doing, 350 damage to a tier 10 or a tier 9, and you have a 47, 48, or 50 whatever second load time, that was a splash, but it still did 131 damage. I was actually pretty shocked. But here you're in, let's say, a tier 10 gun carriage T92, and you hit a target, and you're only hitting for 300 or 400, and then you've got a 47-second load time. To me, that's over nerfed because the simple fact is you might only get 3 or 4 shots off, and the match might be over. I've had matches that have lasted, 2-3 minutes and just romple stomp the team. And you get 2 or 3 shots off, and that's it. I think the way they could have fixed it and still kind of made everybody, let's say, a happy medium, instead of doing this where you hit something and do no damage. And I don't like being in a tank and getting hit by artillery and losing my whole pool of health. But I would rather have them hit me and do, 600 or 700 damage than be stunned every 10 seconds. Especially when there's, all of us missed them, especially when there's, three artilleries in the game. And let's say you got two batchat artilleries that really, they do minimal damage, 100 some damage, maybe 200 if they're lucky. But they'll stun the living snot out of you, and you end up being stunned the whole game. Now, I think a way wargaming could have really fixed, kind of everybody would have been basically a happy medium. Everybody kind of would have been happy. Artillery still would have been, or felt like they were making a difference in the match, and people on the receiving end wouldn't feel like artillery was overpowered. Would have been, take your higher tier artilleries, your tier, I'd say basically 9 and 10s, and just lower the amount of damage like that. I hit a scorpion in the side, and I did 194 damage, direct shot in the side of a tank that has absolutely no armor, and I did 194 damage. Ooh. Um, but I think if they would have just basically lowered the amount of total damage that a tier 10 and 9 could do, so versus a tier 10 being able to do 1,280 damage, average damage per hit, lower it down to where it does 1,000 average damage per hit. You're still going to be able to do a lot of damage, but you're also going to still have to take 2 or 3 shots to kill somebody. If somebody is out, dumb enough to be out in the open, where they're not covered, they're not using, the depressions to their benefit. They're out in the, wide open, and they get lit up. Well, then that's kind of their own fault. I've been in old school in my Moss, and had been shot by T92 and literally got ammo racked. But so you're one shot, but that can happen to anything. But I have had where a gun carriage or a T92 has hit me and done 2,000 damage or 2,200 damage or whatever, and it makes you cringe, and you're like, oh, goddamn Arty, I hate Arty, take it out of the game. Where they did is they turned around and nerfed the living snot out of everything, and all he really had to do, I think, is make the total amount of damage, instead of being able to do 23 or whatever, 2,400 average damage or whatever, knock it down to where it could do, 1,000 to the maximum or 1,200, but leave it the way it is, the old way, not this new way where you hit something and you do 250 or 300 damage. It's just so like a kick right in the teeth when you hit a tier 10 tank in the side or the rear and you do 250 damage in a tier 10 artillery. It's like, what? Or, like this. Yeah, I was in a tier 6 hitting tier 8 tanks. But like that Scorpion, that thing has absolutely no armor. And I did, what was it, 194 damage to a tank or a tank destroyer. There's absolutely no direct hit, but it has no armor. And I did all of 194, where I should have done more, like about 500 or 600. See, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel they over nerfed it when they did this big overhaul of artillery, and now you're just stunned the whole match. If you're in a Moss E100 T95, they might only do 50 damage, but you're about worthless because you are stunned literally the whole match. I would rather have my T95 and lose 600, 700, 800 health, and have that artillery have a 45, 50 whatever second load time, and think, well, he just hit me, obviously I'm lit, or I'm in an area where I shouldn't be because he's nailing me. I need to use these buildings. I need to use these buildings and get in behind this building right here where he can't hit me. He just splashed me, and I saw that he's got to be somewhere over here shooting me, so I'm going to move over in this area where he can't hit me. It's common sense. If you're getting hit by artillery, especially direct hits, Well, either they were real lucky, like on that Scorpion, and I just happened to be loaded, and it's got a fast aim time, but obviously they would have to take your aim time, the load time, and all those numbers and put them back up to the way they were. You're not going to have a 13-second load time in a Tier 6 artillery and a 2.5-second aim time or 3-second aim time in this Tier 6 artillery like I do. You know, just food for thought. I just feel like they over nerfed it. What do you guys? What are your thoughts on it? What do you think? Anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have some post game stats for you from this match. So if you want to hold on, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'll move this up just a hair. So, what do you think? Do you all? I guess I'll phrase this towards the artillery players. Do the people that play artillery? Do you feel that artillery was over nerfed? Personally, I do. Believe me, I don't like getting hit by artillery, but when I'm hitting a VK 100.01p and bouncing off him, literally bouncing off him, 2 shells out of the 3 times I hit him, and not doing any damage at all, bouncing off him. Literally, it bounced. Yeah. And when you're hitting other artilleries and you're not killing it in one shot, and and I don't expect to hit the VK 100.01p and one-shot him. Obviously, I'm in a Tier 6. He's in a Tier 8 tank. He's in a heavy tank, super heavy tank at that. But for the love of God, I mean, when you're bouncing artillery off a target, that's just ridiculous that they have lowered the pen that much that you can't penetrate stuff. The average penetration on this is 39. Let's see if we can figure out what the max. It just says average. Interesting. Because like your damage says minimum, maximum. This one still says the average penetration is 39. So it doesn't look like there is a minimum, maximum penetration. To me, that's saying that's not the average. That's the max. You're not going to go over 39 on your penetration, plain and simple. Even though it says average penetration, that's it. So with 39 penetration, I hit him 3 times, and it looked like 2 of them. I'll have to pay attention when I'm actually doing the replay. To be honest with you, I would almost really prefer if Wargaming took artillery and put it back the way it was. Yeah, when you get hit with a T-92 or you get hit with a Conqueror gun carriage, they can take a substantial chunk off. You almost sometimes get in one shot, but most of the time you'd straggle around with a couple hundred hit points left over. After the old way, not now. Now it's not, no. I'll hit Tier 8s in my Conqueror, my T-92, and do 300 damage. I think they over-nerfed it. And when I'm in my super heavy tanks, or heavy tanks, even some slow-moving mediums, and I get hit, I think it annoys me more that I would prefer to die than just be stunned the whole damn game. I'll play my Moss Type 5 Heavy, and if there's 3 artilleries in the match, literally I will spend the whole match stunned. You've been stunned. You've been stunned. You've been stunned. You've been stunned again. I mean, you literally are stunned the whole match because you're a slow-moving, big, fat, easy target to hit. So all the artilleries are going to take advantage of that and shoot at you, and it's going to knock your crews out and keep you stunned the whole game. So you will absolutely do just nothing. I would rather get hit by artillery and have him take a quarter of my hit points to half my hit points to 3/4 of my hit points, as long as I'm not friggin' stunned the whole game. Because if I'm playing a super heavy tank or something and I'm dumb enough to stay out in the open and not use buildings or hills to my advantage, then I deserve to get hit by artillery and lose 3/4 of my health. I'm talking with like a T-92 or a Conqueror gun carriage. Obviously with Tier 8s and 9s, like the, what is that? The American Tier, it's a 9. 53, 55. That used to be the go-to. I love that thing. It was my go-to artillery because it shot pretty good and it did a hell of a lot of damage. Now it's, yeah, my go-to is a freaking tier 6 because half the time you hit something, you do 200 damage. You're better off firing, every, what's my reload on this? Every 16 seconds I can reload and do another 300 damage, so it adds up quick. Whereas if you got a 39, 40, 50-second reload, you hit somebody, do 300 damage, which that's about what you do in a damn Conquer gun carriage, unless you get real lucky and hit something that either is got their ass facing you or has no armor at all whatsoever. Then you might do 1,000 damage. But just the way it is now, you'll hit something, do 300 damage, and then you got a 47-second load time. So it takes forever to get any damage up. But we ended up getting a first class bruiser and a Confederate, and we got a bond out of the deal. But like the VK 101P, we hit him 3 times, but we only penned him 1 time for 217, and he got hit for 214 upon us, stunning him 3 times, even though I don't know how it said I stunned him 3 times when 2 of my rounds literally did nothing. The Scorpion G, absolutely no armor, direct hit, right in the side, 194 damage. Ooh. And all these right here are all tracks. Even the one where it says 2 here, that was knocked out his track, destroyed his track. This is a track. 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 And track. It used to be with the old way, you would hit their tracks, knock them off. You'd do more damage to the engines, consumables, the drivers, your crew and stuff. Now you don't even do that. You just stun them. They're just until somebody hits their first aid kit, and then they're oh, hey, I'm good to go now. FV207, another artillery. I believe I hit a direct hit on him, 310. That was actually a good roll for this artillery, hitting another artillery that has no armor. Oni, very heavily armored, but 349. I think I hit him. I hit him at least twice. Tiger 1, hit him at least 2 times, 438 damage. Leo splashed next to him for 88, and I almost literally put it right on him. And the PZ4S, I think I almost hit him direct to, well, it was really close to him, for 131 damage. And the SU8 splashed next to him, didn't knock his track off or anything. It looks like I just stunned him and he got hit for 57 upon me stunning him. The WN8 for that match was 2,658. So it was a really good WN8. I almost had my second mark on this, and that's why I've been playing it quite a bit lately. We did the most damage at 1,727, and we got a base experience of 1,007. We had 19 shots, 9 direct hits, and I love this. 0 of them penetrated, though, because it has absolutely crap penetration, 39. That's less penetration than a lot of tanks get on their HE rounds. Splash damage, we hit 10. Total damage was 1,727. It was all more than 300 meters away. Enemy vehicles damage 7. Let's see, damage to vehicle stunned by us was 1,092. Stuns caused 12. We made 25,684 credits. So, credit-wise, we made a pretty good amount. But I'm telling you guys, they really, in my mind, they over-nerfed it, and I would love for it to be able to go back the way it was. Yeah, and believe me, I didn't like starting a match, 30 seconds in, I get hit by T-92 or, Conquer gun carriage and lose, 1,000 of my hit points, or I get 1 shot and I'm back in the garage. I think instead of doing what they did, what they should have done is just lower the amount of maximum damage that it could do overall. Leave it the way it was completely, except for your higher tiers, your 9s and 10s. Just lower the maximum amount of damage that they can hit you for down by 300 or 400. And you're still going to hit them for 6, 9, whatever, 100 damage. It's still going to do a lot of damage. You're just not going to one-shot stuff. And I think that's what a lot of people really got pissed about, was getting one-shot. Unless you were in like a Moss with 3,000 hit points, unless they ammo racked you. But, it just, I think they over-nerfed it is what they did. I think a lot of people, especially people that play artillery, and I don't normally play artillery, but I'm trying to 3-mark this. Almost got the second mark, so I'm getting real close. But I think the people that do play artillery would probably prefer to go back to the way it was, so that when they play a match, they're doing at least a good amount of damage, not being at the because they give you these missions where you got to do 4,000 damage, and your team has to do 2,000 assisted damage from you knocking their tracks off and stuff. Try getting 4,000 damage even in a T-92 or a Conquer gun carriage is almost virtually impossible unless you're in the whole match the whole time, your team doesn't roll over them, and you're able to get some good shots in. Then you might get 2.5, 3,000, but yeah, 4,000, yeah, give me a break. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.